How much do authors actually get to be involved in the process of making their book into a movie? My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. Most authors don't get to be involved in the making of their movie at all. If the contracts that get put in say that they will be provided first class travel to visit the set one time, that's it. Or sometimes it will also include like first class travel and hotel accommodations to see the premiere of the movie, but then that's it. Those two things, that's all that they get. Most of these contracts will say that we now have the rights to turn your book into a movie. And that's it. That's all that they get. The authors who do get to be heavily involved in the making of the movie, these are usually going to be authors who have a really, really strong presence and who have a really strong brand, and that audiences identify with them in a really strong way. And so the movie makers want that author's fingerprints to be all over the movie, but that is extremely rare. Even when the book is extremely good and people love the book, this is going to be somebody who is like quasi a public figure. So like Stephanie Meyer got to be involved in the making of her movies to a small degree because she was like a cult of personality, almost like people were fans of her as much as they were of the book, which is also why John Green gets to be involved in this. People have this like parasocial relationship with John Green because he has been on the internet. He's been in our phones since before the phones could do this thing, and so people feel like they know him and they want the movie to feel like him to a certain degree. I think it is also worth noting the size of the studios that are involved in these. These are not going to be your big giant MGM movies in which we have a huge Hollywood machine. These are usually like a little bit smaller, like closer to an art house kind of a level of movie. And so the director has a little bit more control over the way that the project goes, and so they can have that author involved in a way that they want to, whatever. Commenter specifically asked about like executive producer credits, and those are largely ceremonial. I have not worked in television, I have not worked in film, so my knowledge about this comes from listening to podcasts done by people who do work in that space. And so largely there is like a real executive producer who is in charge of like making sure that timelines are met and making sure that budgets are met. But then there's a whole bunch of other people who are like given producer and executive producer credits because they were integral to getting the project made by having made the book, or by donating a lot of money, or by being related to somebody who got the project made, right? Like a lot of times these credits can be ceremonial. They usually have a fee associated with them, not a whole lot, usually in like the $10,000 to $15,000 range, to be like, yeah, we're going to call you an executive producer, and then you get a little bit of extra cash. To you and I, that may seem like a lot of cash, but to the people who are doing movies, this is like a rounding error. This is not a lot of money. So usually these titles mean nothing, and authors don't get to be involved in the making of their movies like at all.